everybody, and welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today I am showing you a cheap and easy transformation for an enclosed porch. This is the rear porch on an over 100-year-old house. I think we date back to 1904 or 1914, somewhere in there. But it was originally an open porch with spindles on the outside, and they boxed in the spindles on the inside to be able to put walls. We're going to take it just a step further from being just a basic run in the door and mudroom. So over the years, this has been the main entrance to this home just because of where the driveway falls. Most people end up using the back door. In all houses, hardly anybody who lives in a home ends up using the front door. And this is the reason why this needs an upgrade. It has just basic repurposed windows that they put in, and they just use some trim to be able to install that, and some basic curtains over here. So we went through, we scraped all the 100 years of old paint off, well, maybe 80 or 70. We don't know when it was boxed in or enclosed, but we wanted to add locks to the porch. It's quite high up, it's not really an issue, but they had actually been screwed shut. It's not insulated. It's more or less a 3 seasons room, and it's quite comfortable out here. Because of the sizes of these windows, you could run space air conditioners if needed. So one of the first things that we have been working on here is some floor repairs, because when people have been moving in and out, and over the years, some of the edges of the flooring have chipped or broken. So that's going to be in a separate video. But to prepare for this, I took off the threshold off of the door, and for years the door had been sitting too low, so that was taken care of. We are going to go ahead and vacuum up the mess from working on the windows, you see. And this was painted quite a long time ago. So I started edging it out. While I thought about this project, I went ahead and painted the tongue and groove boards. Now, like I said, this is non-insulated. You could take it a step further, frame it out with like proper 2x4s, and have a 4 seasons room, but the beadboard ceiling up above is not insulated, and neither is the floor. So this space is perfect for a sitting area, a desk area, and it's perfect for a 3 seasons room in Michigan. We get a lot of early warm days and late warm days. So pretty much from maybe November to March, you wouldn't use it so much more than a mudroom. We're gonna do a little makeover, make a nice little seating area. We've got some balances picked out. I have a rug that I may or may not put down. Depends on how well it cleans up. But I've been collecting some things. So another job I did in anticipation of this was a bare bulb light fixture. And I like the old industrial feel of having the conduit showing, because it didn't originally have a light. If you run any electric on your own, make sure you're following codes. It would be required to be encased in conduit or what is called armored sheathing to keep it from being touched or damaged or cut. But a new light fixture made a lot of difference out here. You can go 1, 3, 4 bulbs, whatever you need. The only issue is you got to make sure that it's going to clear your door. So anything too large here, it would run into it. It's a perfect little vintage looking light. I know some people don't prefer this style. There are so many things you can order online or opted to going to the store and buying. This was just a simple in-stock light fixture that does just perfect for the job. So a trick I learned a long time ago was to have larger curtains than the window, and it's going to give the room a bigger feel than just having a small little curtain or swag that size. Another option that you could do too is a second panel painted to look like a window. Lots of options. This works out perfectly for our situation, because then I just have these simple sliding windows on their rails. The curtain rods were already here, but I wanted the two-tone look, and I may go ahead and make these a little darker, but they're just in their natural state with some clear over it right now. Waverly Antiquing Wax mixed down with water is perfect for getting the right color that you want, but I'm liking the color combination so far. These are Better Homes and Gardens curtain valances. I was able to pick up a set of 3 to have over the windows. There is the option to be able to put one here as well. This is a window going into the back of the house, but I didn't want to really showcase this window as part of the room so much. So for now, we're gonna leave that empty. I've already gone through and painted all of the walls last week also when I picked out my light fixture. And as a bonus to this, because the way the walls were built, we had a bit of draft and sometimes snow would blow in. So we trimmed out the inside and outside of the porch, and it just kind of helps batten down the hatches a little bit more so that you don't have that draft coming in and out of the room, and gives it more of a finished room look. So now everything is all vacuumed up and I can start in on painting the floor. And here is a great area rug that I picked up for the job. Now, when I actually got there, this is used off of Facebook, it was a bit dirtier than what I had anticipated. And it's been bumping around the house. So we're gonna spray it clean with a carpet cleaning solution and let that soak for a while here in the shade. I don't wanna do it right in the sun and have it dry out. Sometimes it's good to get it wet first, but if you've ever seen videos on people cleaning carpets and rugs professionally, they have like a whole basin that they can spray this down and let it soak in and clean both sides front and back with a scrub brush. They're doing so much more than what a carpet cleaner can do. So we're gonna start in on that process with a pre-treat. So if you're thinking of painting your wood floor, porch, patio, you know, interior or exterior, it doesn't matter. You've got to make sure that you're thinking it through and prepping the area well. So I've already gone through, previously I showed you vacuuming the area. We did a touch-up scrub for any areas that might be dirty, because you want to be painting a clean surface. If you're getting into like a dirty area, it could just later on flake off. Also, you want to make sure that it's made for porches and floors. This is Interior Exterior by Dutch Boy. You can pick this up in a lot of different places. This is the Dutch Boy brand, like I said. I have used their porch and floor, works very well also. This is about $37 a gallon. They can tint it to color match, which is what I basically had them do in this case, which is why you're seeing the 2 different colors here. This was previous coating that we used in the floor in the basement, and it worked really well, especially for a moisture prone basement. The house doesn't have eaves troughs on it, never has it all this time, and it really helped to kind of block and seal some dampness. So in this case here, it's making for easy cleanup for any foot traffic going in and out of the house. Like I said, it's the back door, so it gets a lot of use. It's very durable, it cleans well, and we're super happy with the coverage. So to start off with, earlier in the week, like I said, all my prep painting, I went around the edges except for on this back wall, and anywhere that had flaked or peeled that I could get to at that point. I just made myself a couple of new spots here, but in most areas you will get 1 coat coverage. If I had any bare wood or any excessive flaking, I went ahead and hit that with my leftover gallon from the previous job. So now we're gonna go through. You can roll this on, you can brush it on. They have the paint pad applicators that you push and pull. I'm not as much a fan of those because you tend to get a streakiness. I'd rather have the roller or the brush. So this original floor, I believe, had been brushed on. I'm going to stick with that because it's really good for getting in the cracks or spaces, because this is tongue and groove floor. So we're just gonna start right in with a nice clean brush. You can pick up any brushes you like, but this is one of my favorite brushes. It is a Purdy angled brush. It stays together. A lot of the cheaper brushes start flaring a lot, like the nylon, different types in them. I believe this is a natural bristle, maybe with some nylon. Does not say, but it's a super good brush. It's great for interior and exterior. I've been using this all of 2024 this summer, inside and outside the house everywhere, because it's got a great angled edge for cutting in. Then you don't have to use a separate tool because you're being able to do your detail work just like a professional does, all freehand. So as you can see, I'm going with a lighter or more neutral color than my original here in the middle. It was a little bit peachy toned, and this is our leftover paint where it's dry, where I painted earlier this week, and this is the fresh wet paint. Keep that in mind when you are painting so that you don't overreact to a color difference. It's darker when it's dry than when it's wet, and that will darken down a bit as it goes. You can already see here is where I painted last, and this has only been drying for about 15 minutes. Even with a brush, it goes along quite well. And that was the thing I was gonna say about brush versus roller. You're spending money on a roller when you've already got a brush out. You're getting this paint into every detail of the woodwork. Now, because this is interior exterior, it will last and bond well. You don't want to use wall paint on your floor. It will peel up in a very short amount of time. If you have a concrete porch slab patio, there's even yet different paints that you can use for that, but you can use the porch and floor paint for concrete. If you have bare wood floors, we recently just did our front porch and our rear steps with the Thompson's Water Seal semi-transparent stain over raw wood, and that was really nice. Or if you want it to look more solid and not see the wood grain, you can go with opaque. With the stains, you're less likely to have peeling and flaking later on. It's probably been 10 to 15 years since we painted this, and any of these chips here have been from me forcing like a clump off that was somewhere, or from the door not being quite level and rubbing into it. So don't fret about your colors, don't fret about your coverage. This is really a great quality item, and they back it with guarantees too. We actually warranted bare exterior paint and porch and floor paint, and they honored it and sent us a check for a refund for all of the money that we paid for the original paint to put towards new. So I definitely guarantee that it's good quality stuff with the bare. The Dutch, you know, we've used it, we've never had to warranty it, but again, we've used it in an interior environment, and I really like the Dutch Boy. I like the Dutch Boy containers because they have a screw-on lid. So that's my spiel about that, but you can see it's coming along really good. I'm about a third of the way now. It's coming. Make sure you have plenty of ventilation. You can see I got my door open for fresh air. And this is temperature dependent too. You don't want it too cold or too hot. So going into fall is a good time to do this because we've still got plenty of warm days. It actually takes paint 30 days to cure. We'll be using this area before that time. Based on drying time for this week, in the low 80s, upper 70s, 60s, and 50s at night. It's gonna have a good cure time in a few days to be able to place furniture in here. It doesn't look like much yet, but it is beautiful. This color is so neutral. It looks fabulous. The whole room looks brighter and nicer, and I think with the color combination we're going with, it's gonna look beautiful. I've got some new doorknobs on the lineup for the area just because it needs it. And some furniture lined up. And by furniture lined up, I mean I have been refurbishing some old furniture, some free furniture from side of the road, garbage, thrift stores, and we're gonna make it a nice little sitting area to enjoy year-round, or at least 3 seasons. So for me, even though I was doing a color match, I took the store my stir stick with 2 coats of paint on both sides for them to put into their little computer. They scan it and it tells you what color it is, and it's called Grandstand Tan. So if you're interested in duplicating the color, that is what it is. And I am using an interior, exterior, and it's a satin finish. I like that because I don't like flat finishes for cleanability and durability. I think the satin and semi-gloss work really well for that. And this particular product, I'm not going to be around for a little bit, so this is fine. 40 to 90 degrees and 1 hour touch-up time if you have to go back and do any work. 4 hours if you have to recoat the whole thing. So 24 hours for light foot traffic, meaning we can come in the porch, in and out if necessary over the next couple of days, but 7 days for regular furniture and heavy foot traffic. We're not seeing a lot of heavy foot traffic, and no furniture, heavy big furniture like a sofa or anything is going to go in there. But when they're talking about is you could end up having the furniture, weight of the furniture stick to the floor and pull that off because it's not cured. That's what I was talking about, the curing time for like 30 days. So their basic curing time for furniture placement is 7. So after all that pre-treating and hand scrubbing, I gave it a good rinse and I extracted all the excess water with my Bissell carpet cleaner. You can use a shop vac, anything you can, squeegee, brush broom all the excess water out, flip it over, do the same thing to the back. Do it again to the front if you feel like it's necessary after doing the back. Just keep going until you have a good clear rinse. Just hook up the hose and give it a good spray. You could probably use a mild setting on a power washer or an electric power washer as well. It is so much cleaner than it was. I'm pretty sure we're gonna be able to use it. There's only about 2 mild stains left on it. And I may hit those with some OxiClean or some baking soda and peroxide and see if I can get them just a little lighter tomorrow. My rug cleaned up super good. This is what I was talking about, repurposing and recycling. I don't even remember if the chair came from a thrift store or free. I know this was free on the side of the road. Thrift store items here, Walmart, New Balances, staged it with some books and a nice sitting area. You could always plug in and run a space heater in the colder weather. It is just looking simple and clean and uncluttered. Remember, if you're doing a revamp or a resetting in your home, creating little vignettes like this to get it ready for real estate, little goes a long ways. You want to market to the masses, not to a certain type. I don't want to over decorate. I don't want to under decorate. Just enough so that people get an idea of what they can use the space for. I hope this helps you in selling your home, getting it ready to sell, renovate, whatever it is that you like to do just to create your own little space. And remember to give us a thumbs up, to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.